What is up, guys? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm excited to bring another knife review to you guys. Today we're going to be talking about the CJRB Scoria. This particular knife has a 3.48 inch AR RPM 9 blade steel, which is CJRB's in-house steel. Really interesting steel in my opinion. It has a 4.53 inch micarta scales, really well done. I really like this color a whole lot. Titanium pivot collar. Titanium pivot collar. Really nice looking. Has a titanium milled, fairly deep pocket carry clip, and they did a good job of making sure that it was both reversible and not in the way of the lanyard hole that they stuck through the frame. I much prefer when they just stick it in between the scales on the back, but I think because it's my car that they probably had to do it this way. Overall length 8.01 inches, so just a hair over 8 inches. So this is definitely a full-sized pocket knife, and a claimed weight of 3.53 ounces, and we are going to check that right now, right here. Let me try to get that light off of it. You want to zero out for me there, my friend? There you go. Nothing's up against it, is it? Okay. So claim weight 3.53. So 3.4. Let's see. All right, zero back out for me. 3.4. So a little bit lighter than what they claim on the website. That's always a pleasant surprise to me. Let me go ahead and bring out the comparison knives for this, and then I'll give you my thoughts and impressions. If you're enjoying the video, think about leaving a like for me, guys. It helps me out so much on YouTube. If you enjoy content like this, I appreciate if you want to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to turn that notification bell on so you get a warning, or not a warning, you get alerts when new content drops. In case there's something you're interested in that you see pops up on your notifications, you can come check it out with me. First up is going to be the Yojimbo 2. The Yojimbo has a 3.125 inch 20 CV blade steel with a 4.5 inch G10 scale. Overall length on the Yojimbo 2, 7.5 inches, and it weighs in at 4 ounces. The next knife that I wanted to throw out here for the comparison is going to be the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 with a 3.44 inch S45 VN blade steel, 4.81 inch titanium G10 scales. Overall length is 8.25 inches, and the weight 3.75 ounces. You can see this is definitely a full-size knife, and it is sitting right in between the two of these for overall size. It has a very similar blade length, but it's a little bit shorter than the PM2, and it is definitely bigger overall than the Yojimbo 2. Let me get those pivots lined up. So the blade is coming in, a little bit shorter, but the handle length very, very similar. Let me go ahead and bring out my other two comparisons. I'm going to bring out the crossbar locks, and one of these is very interesting to me, and we'll get into why in just a moment. We'll come right back to that. First up is going to be the SIG K320 made by Hogue. The SIG has a 3.5 inch S30V blade steel with a 4.5 inch polymer handle, 8 inches overall for the length, and weighing in at 4.16 ounces. The next knife that I want to bring out here, and this is going to be the one that we're going to bring back out in a little bit, is going to be the Benchmade Bugout. The Bugout has a 3.24 inch S30V blade steel with a 4.22 inch titanium scales. Overall length on the knife 7.46 inches, and the weight comes in at 2.3 ounces. So you can see this knife really comes close to size with the SIG without being quite as thick. And again, we're going to circle back to that in just a minute, but you can get a really good frame of reference with these two particular knives. Next, we're going to bring out the budget knife comparison. First, we're going to start out with the Civivi. This is the Elementum. This has a 2.96 inch D2 steel blade with a 4.03 inch handle, the micarta scales in my instance. Overall length on the Elementum is 6.99 inches, and the weight is a very lightweight, ultra lightweight, 2.89 ounces. The next knife we're going to bring out here is the Scoria's cousin. That's going to be the CJRB Feldspar. Feldspar has a 3.5-inch D2 steel blade that's been stone washed very well. Beautiful knife. Fantastic value. My micarta handles come in at 4.6 inches and the overall length 8.1 inches with a weight coming in at 3.67 ounces. So I did want to bring out his cousin to talk about this first, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and impressions. So really close comparison in overall size, as you can see here, and you may ask yourself, what's the advantage? Well, the AR RPM 9 is a better blade steel. I think that I have the burlap micarta, and I think it's really well done. I like the rough, rugged rawness of the burlap from an ergonomic standpoint. It really does help with the grip, especially as the knife gets wet. And I know it's really hard to bring that out on camera, but burlap, it really, if you're getting this knife to use it and use it hard, the burlap is going to be really good for that. When it gets wet, it gets super grippy, but the burlap's natural rawness really does have like that extra little bit of texturing over top of, say, like the natural micarta that you're going to see on this particular Scoria. So it is grippy, but it doesn't quite have the perforation that burlap micarta has. As far as the action, it is on bearings, really smooth and really snappy. Now, here's where I wanted to get into the difference with the Scoria. The Scoria, first and foremost, has the really good action that you get with the Feldspar with the thumb studs, but it has a really well done light switch flipper tab, and you can push button it. It works really, it surprised me how well that it works with the push button, because I was thinking this looks like a light switch only type flipper tab, but I mean, it really responds well to that. My only complaint is I wish they would have put a little bit of jimping on that flipper tab. I know it's big, and it reminds me a lot of a Hinderer flipper tab. So you can see, like, the Hinderer sticks out really well, but the Hinderer action is fantastic. It allows you to get that leverage even though it's underneath the flipper tab. The way that it's designed, it has that leverage coming way out here to be really crisp and really snappy. And this is the same design. It comes out right even, maybe a little bit up, a little bit above the pivot, but it comes out there and gives you really good leverage. Let's do a profile comparison. I'm only going to do it from the top knife on this instance with the contoured scale, and at this point you might be able to tell why I want to bring the Bugout back out for this comparison. The reason for that is because the Bugout normally is thinner than anything else in my lineup of comparison knives that I like to do. Check that out. When you look at outside of the contouring, and I know this is not the Grivory scales, and I understand that, but still, this knife to me is serious competition for folks that like the Bugout's thin, slicey profile because of the limitation and footprint that it takes up in the pocket. It is slightly bigger overall, but you are getting two means of deployment with the thumb stud and the flipper tab. You're getting more blade and more handle, which gives you a little bit more room in the ergonomics. It's giving you a little bit of a finger choil, sharpening choil spot here. You can see that when I come up to the knuckle, I'm trying to show you, it just misses that edge, which is good because if you're trying to do some precision work on the table, you can kind of choke up on it and get way up on that tip. And you can see I'm not even close to the edge. So it does give you a little bit of an advantage over the Bugout. Now the Bugout has probably one of the strongest locking systems in the industry with that crossbar lock. I don't deny that. It is excellent value for a made in the USA knife with a crossbar lock. I like it a whole lot more with the G10 scales and the contouring because it really improves the ergonomics for me. It is a flat grind with a swedge, so it's very slicey. This is a flat grind, really thin behind the edge, and super slicey. So when you look at these two, even when you come out, I'm gonna have to hold it in one hand and put Yeah, when you come out to the tips on these guys, you can see why I think this compares favorably to the Bugout. I mean, this, when I got this knife in hand, I immediately thought of my Bugout. And that's because the Bugout, again, minimal footprint, very lightweight, summer type carry, could probably flex into the office if it didn't have all this damn hardware on it. The hardware on it, to me, kind of makes it a no-go for carrying this into the office. Not to say that it would be intimidating or give the wrong impression when coming out, but I just feel like the visible hardware on a knife like this, which is necessary for the access lock, I almost called it the able lock, the access lock, to me just makes it a no-go for me. That's not to say that you can't carry this into the office. This is not a super intimidating knife. I just feel like it looks a little bit tactical, in my opinion, having all that visible hardware, and that's just my opinion. But we're not reviewing this knife today. We're talking about the Scoria, and the Scoria with the micarta handles, I think looks really, really good. The titanium mill pocket clip and everything just makes it feel a little bit more premium and upscale in appearance than the Bugout. And it's a really slicey, small knife. Even though it's really a full-size knife, I feel comfortable carrying this into the office place or in a more formal setting, because when you put it in the pocket, it's going to be so low profile and so thin that it's not going to take up a lot of space. And the other thing that I do like, because when I carry into the office, I do use a pocket organizer to hold my knife and a pin just in case. And I like this one from Art Company because it holds the full-size knife, and I can put it down into the pocket and not even have to worry about a pocket clip being exposed, so nobody needs to really know that I'm carrying my knife in case I want to pull it out to get into some packages, food prep, whatever it is that I need to do into the office. The action's really, really good. So this is a knife that I would say, if you don't want to spend $140 on the Bugout, but you like the thought of something thin, slicey, and also full size in hand that performs really well, this is a really solid option. This is a really well done knife by CJRB. Highly recommend it. It doesn't have much going against it. The one thing I didn't mention, I do apologize, the AR RPM 9 has very toothy characteristics. It reminds me a lot of D2, and it's not just because this blade steel is thin, but because of the fact that that toothiness is going to cut through stuff like cardboard and things that are thicker, like small rope and things like that. It's going to chew through that better. And I think AR RPM 9 is showing that it does have pretty good edge retention and edge maintenance. So unlike D2, this is stain resistant, and it is toothy like D2 in that it'll chew through the material, but you can just take it across some leather, strop it up, and get that edge back without having to chew away at the steel to sharpen it up as often. So that's my impressions. This is definitely a recommendable knife. I think it's a very reasonable price point. It's sub $90. You can't really go wrong with this one. A lot of competition in that under $100 mark though. So do your homework and research before you decide to make a purchase. Don't go just on my review. Having said that, if you enjoyed my review, again, leave that like for me. It really helps me out, guys. I appreciate all the support. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Thanks for tuning in with me today, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week. Until next time, peace.